Close your eyes for a minute, close your eyes for a second. I won't change my mind.
Hi Posh fam, welcome back to my channel, Poshcateyes Unfiltered. Again guys, I want to say thank you to my new subscribers. You guys are amazing. I thank you for supporting this channel. My old subscribers, my ride or die Posh fam family, thank you for staying on. You make it worth my while. What can I say? Thank you so much. And now we're gonna get into the conversations. That was episode 6 of The Real Housewife of Atlanta. And I'm tagging this particular episode the face-off between Kandi Burruss and Marlo Hamptons. Let's get right on into the commentary for this week. Now, I'm going to say this, right? Bravo seems to be the #1 bone collector of all time. In fact, they came with receipt for this particular episode, safe. And I'm going to call it, yeah. Like, this particular episode has been it's been ongoing. We started from episode 1 with this particular drama that revolved around Marlo Hampton losing her cousin 3 years ago, apparently. And for some reason, this whole thing is now a big deal because we're 6 episodes in and we are still going. 6 episodes in and counting, because this is not gonna, it didn't end on this particular episode. It's still going to go, it's going to continue on to episode 7. And I do not know what episode 7 brings, but guys, you need to hear what happened in this episode to understand exactly why I'm saying this is a complete reach for Marlo Hampton. Like, unnecessarily big, but I can call this, I'm going to call it. I think producers are behind this particular beef. I think producers are behind this particular beef. Now, like I said, I've said it in a couple of episodes in now. Kandi Burruss is the longest housewife of the franchise. She's been the one that's like sort of married. It's called housewife. Marlo Hampton is not married. She started on as a friend to Nene Leakes, who's no longer on the show, and then somehow crawled her way to becoming a housewife with a pitch. As what? You're not a housewife. You've not been married. How are you a valid member of this group? But I'm just gonna let that slide. Now, why am I saying this is a reach by Bravo or the production team? I will tell you. It appears Kandi is the longest serving member, and for that, as the longest serving housewife, your paycheck is, you demand more money. And so obviously she's probably the most paid amongst the group. And how best to get her off, or how best to wear her thin, is by bringing all these controversies, all this drama that is just salacious. Drama that are not exactly, should I say, TV worthy, but we have to have some content. And I'm going to say this again in defense to Bravo. 5 seasons and counting, Kandi hasn't really brought a lot on. She talks about her family dynamics, we see that, but there's, in terms of the oomph that the show needs, which is that theatrics, or, drama, basically, she hasn't really given a lot. Now, I would say for what she's earning, she probably needs to bring more. So, is she in on this particular drama? I can't tell you, because she seems to be really irate. She seems to be very, very much in despair. She seems to be reacting, and you can see her reaction as vulnerable. So it begs the question, like, is she in on the drama? What exactly is going on? One thing I can say for sure is it looking like the beginning of the end for her stay on this franchise? I don't know, because we're 6 episodes in, and we're still trying to bring down Kandi. Like, it's still like all the girls are ganging up against her, apart from Kenya and Drew. But those two are now sort of tilting to the other side, because they are, they want numbers. And that's the name of the game, numbers. And I've also observed that Kandi hasn't really filmed with the girls a lot this season. Or again, we're only 6 episodes in, so there's not much to go off of. But I can see that she hasn't really been filming with the girls. She's been really busy, from all of her things that she's doing on the side. She's been really busy, and so there's not been a lot of filming with the girls. And it kind of is a lot is brewing, and I could see maybe she is tired of the drama, or she's tired of the fact that they're always antagonizing her to get her to, come off and respond in a way that isn't a good look for her brand. I'm just saying. So I don't know. I hate to say this, but I think Kandi has sort of outgrown this particular franchise. She has outgrown it from maybe season 9, where there was this perpetuated lie against her by Phaedra and Portia. The lie that said she had dungeons and she was doing a lot of crazy things with people. It was, I don't want to perpetuate any rumor, but if you have followed this particular franchise, you would have followed that particular dangerous slander that was against Kandi's reputation. And good on her, she stood her ground, and this saw Phaedra losing her position on the franchise. And she has sort of consistently stood her ground and stood up for herself, and those people who have antagonized her have sort of fallen by the wayside and gone off the show. So again, we are going to be watching this space to see what happens from here on out. It's just a little bit chaotic, it's a little bit dysfunctional, it's a little bit disorganized, it's just a little bit of animosity between the group, and I do not know how and when they're going to come back to a united front, as you would expect from a show that is all about uplifting women, right? I don't know, but let's just get into the talking points. That was episode 6. So the episode started off with Marlo, of course, orchestrating, trying to garner everyone to be anti-Kandi. She had this friend of, I don't know, long-term family friend, I don't know. And apparently he's her ride or die, whatever. And, again, the conversation came about with the death of her nephew, Quentin, who died a donkey years ago. And for some reason, she is channeling the fact that she's now going through therapy. She is now being exposed to a lot of emotion that she's sort of buckled or shuffled inward. So there's like a lot of emotions coming out of the woodworks, and this particular one is triggering for her because guess what? Because there wasn't flowers sent by Kandi to her. Now, it became a little bit clear because at one point, I did not know if Quentin was a staff member, if the other person was a staff member. It just was chaotic. That's how this whole thing, it's like ridiculous to me. Now, but Bravo got receipts. Because they started this episode by taking us right back to 2011. How Marlo came onto the scene and how friendly she was with Kandi, obviously, and flashed again to 2016. They had a few situations where Kandi was questioning how she made money. And the next one was, I think, 2017 or 2018. Marlo was questioning if she was a lesbian. And that also precipitated in the next particular conversation where I think it was 2020, where the word bitch, I'm worldwide. Famous quote. Kandi just has tagline. She has amazing taglines. And, it's just been brewing. We'll say brewing. And in all of that, there was the unseen footage in 2020 where this whole drama happened. There was a text message, which I'm going to pop on my screen, from Marlo, and the text message wasn't very emotionally charged. It was just more like a conversation between girls. Kandi Yams, do you know anyone by this name that worked for you? And she was like, no, I don't, but I will check. And she responded with the fact that, oh, this person worked, but he's no longer with us. So he's an ex-employee. And she was like, oh yeah, well, he's passed on. And Kandi was like, oh, damn, I'm sorry to hear about that. And the next day, guess what? Thanks to Bravo for the bone collector this time, because they came with receipts. The next day, we saw Marlo going over to Kandi's house. Kandi was preparing for her daughter's graduation party. What a timing, right? You would say. Like, I should be selfless. This is my daughter's graduation. This is my first child's graduation. And I should leave all of that to cater to your nephew's demise. Well, I know we're talking about a human life here. But at the same time, we need to sometimes read the room. And that's one thing I've also noticed. Like, a lot of us claim to be friends, but we're not ready to hear the heavy stuff. And that's quite right. I'm not designed to, be on your beck and call, because especially when you are, because are you going to be there for me as well? You know what I mean? Like, are you going to be there for me? And it should go both ways. If I'm not there for you, then there is something happening. And you should understand that. Anyway, she went over there. She was preparing for the celebration. And she also brought it up, to which Kandi stood up, gave her a hug. You know, let's move on. Let's move this along. And that was it. And now we are here. 3 years on, we are on this situation. What has triggered this? Apparently the shootout at the Blaze steak or something triggered it for Marlo, or the fact that she's now in therapy, receiving some, about time realization or self-reflection, and she's emotionally depleted and wants all the emotions that she can get, all the apologies, all the love, and all the flowers to come at once. Doesn't happen like that, girl. It doesn't. So calm your socks off. Calm your socks down, I mean. Anyway, after giving the guy to her supposedly, minions, like, yes, you deserve a flower, you deserve a cuddle, you deserve all the roses from Kandi. Despite the fact that this guy that passed on, may his soul rest in peace. Because seriously, we need to rest this guy's soul in peace. Because 3 years on, we are still talking about him. Like, you deserve all of you deserve the attention, you deserve the condolence message, you deserve everything, okay? And Marlo's like, yeah, so maybe that's what is triggering this whole situation. And then brought about the scene where she attacked Drew, saying Drew should have exaggerated the whole incident that happened at Blade Stick in order to maybe put Kandi down or something. I really don't know. And she is gearing up for showdown with Kandi, and who is going to perpetuate, or who is going to foster this particular showdown? Courtney, because Courtney has been briefed behind the scenes that she is the one that's going to lead the event that would bring these girls together. And so because Courtney is new and it doesn't want, I guess the girls don't want to seem like we are ostracizing you from the group at the start. So we're going to definitely give you the benefit of that, because if it was Marlo organizing this event, trust and believe Kandi would not be there. And I didn't even think Kandi wanted to attend this particular event. But I'll tell you what made her change her mind. I will get to that. Anyway, Courtney met up with Drew and said, I'm planning some type of escape room, whatever fun activity, and we are going to try and hash out. I'm like, that was a clue for me when she said everybody's going to leave their differences aside and come together. I'm like, okay, girl, what are you planning? Obviously, what has producers said to you that is making you act in this, righteous, or should I kumbaya, namaste type of person? Guys, what's going on? Anyway, Drew was like, well, I saw the text message and I'm going to come. I like the idea. I like the concept. I'm like, girl, stop. I can see how this is going sideways real quick. Nevertheless, Marlo and Sheree were going to definitely be in attendance. Monyeta, she was definitely going to be a show at this event. And then when we got to Kandi was having a conversation with Todd about what they do, business and everything, and the movie that they are planning to that they're producing together or something. And then I think she brought up the issue with Marlo and the events that Courtney was organizing. At the start, it didn't seem like she wanted to go. Like, from the whole vibe and from where she was talking to her husband, it didn't seem like she wanted to go. But then Kenya called her. Now, Kenya called her and briefed her. Kenya called her and gave her a brief that, there is something happening. Marlo is going about branding that you were not there for her when her cousin died, or her cousin died at your franchise, or he was working for you, all of that shit. And this is exactly what Marlo is perpetrating. I just want to give you the heads up so you know. And this obviously riled Kandi up, and like Kandi was like, I am going and I'm going to confront this bitch. And that was exactly what pretty much changed her mind, and told us like, yeah, you do need to go and shut this down real quick. Like, you need to go and put this to bed. And she was like, okay, I will be there. Now over to Casa Sanya. It appears she's now had a change of mind with regards to evicting her sister, the sister's husband, her mom, and her dad. I'm not sure why she has this change of mind, but I think the fact that the sister's husband's quitting on her has got something to do with it. Because we can now see the sister filming with them and they are having the conversation about the fact that she wanted to evict them. And she's like, no, she was blaming Ross, her partner. Well, Ross didn't really say much. You said a lot and you were in agreement. But now you're putting it all on your partner. Okay, girl, cop out. And so now she's like changing her mind. Her sisters and family are going to stay. Apparently, Sanya doesn't have a storyline this season. She's going to use the family, blended family dynamics to get a little bit more TV time. And is it working? I don't think so, because I'm not interested in this dynamic. Like, it's not working for me. Not doing anything for me. So we're going to swipe left or swipe right, however you swipe these days, to Kenya. Kenya is planning a revamp of her hair care brand. She's opening a very posh luxury store in Atlanta, and who was there with her to show off this uncompleted building at the moment is her friend who she met at, I think, the mom's group or something, or daughter's school. And yeah, she has given us the grand tour and what she plans to do with the joint. I cannot wait for this Kenya Moore hair care shop launch. It will be epic. Knowing who Kenya is, with all of the drama that goes with her, I cannot wait. Bring it on, girl. I'm pretty sure this might be the closing for the season where she launches her hair care product and opens a shop in Atlanta. Anyway, she went for that to give her friend the lowdown of what's been happening within the girls group. I do not know, because this girl's already starting as a friend of the show. Maybe 2 years down the line, she might not have a pitch. Who knows? Because she's been featured quite literally this season. She went on the Marlo situation, how Marlo is aggressive, how Marlo has slashed the girl's neck or wrist or something. I don't want to perpetuate rumor, but something to that effect. Because every time we talk about Marlo, there's that particular incident that sent her to jail. So there you go. She was talking about it, and the girl was like, why are you with this girl? Why are you in this group? Like, what's going on, girl? You should be careful of this girl. And she's like, yeah, she is careful, and that's why she doesn't really want to be friends with her. She tries to just ignore her. Of course, we all know the history between Kenya Moore and Marlo Hampton. That friendship is not one that you'd strive for. It is dysfunctional at best. Anyways, ended up with them having to talk about the fact that there's this particular event that Courtney is organizing to bring the girls together to have that conversation. She knows it was gonna happen, and so literally, I was looking forward to the night. I was literally looking forward to what would happen at this particular Courtney event, because we all know Courtney is a puppet of Sheree and Marlo. I call it. She doesn't even like Kandi at this point. So there's only one person that would have organized this event to make it look good for Marlo and Sheree, and that's Courtney. Let's just get into the main event. This particular episode has been advertised as the most dramatic scene yet, so I couldn't wait to get to the episode. Like, I couldn't wait for it to happen. Like, bring it on already. Like, I'm tired of, all the pent-up, intense expectations for this particular showdown, okay? In walks Courtney and Drew talking about how the night was going to go. And then Marlo, of course, walked in. Drew gave her the very cold shoulder. Like, it felt like Drew had already picked a side. And good on you, girl. At least you picked a side this time. Sanya walked in. Sheree also followed suit. And I think Kandi then walked in. As soon as Kandi walked in, you could see she had some angst to grind. And her facial expression was telling. It was evident that she wasn't there for fun. She was there to confront Marlo, period. I don't think she planned to go to stay for the event. Like, I don't think she had that plan. Her plan was to come there, confront Marlo, and exit. And just as we were about to sit down, I think Marlo, Kenya, and Moyeta also walked in, and the next thing, it was like Kandi wanted to get right into it. She was like, let's get into this whole situation. I need to talk to you, Marlo. Yeah, you've been saying stuff about me. I need to get into it real quick. I don't have a lot to say about this particular shenanigans that went down. I'm just going to have you watch a few of the clips that I recorded for your viewing pleasure. Marlo decided to bring Drew along because Obviously, Drew spearheaded the whole conversation from two episodes before, with the fact that she brought up the incident that happened at the Blade Steak. So Marlo invited Drew to come into the mix, and so they went on the corner, and the conversation soon heated up. Let's just take a look.
Any other time when all of us talking, if it's Marlo stabbed the girl, Marlo slashed the girl, Marlo's a convicted felon, Marlo's a whore. Everyone's so direct whenever they say something about me. So you don't want to deal with this. So what I'm saying here, hold on, why would I thought you was going to listen? But you let's roll back. Don't do that fast talking. No, I'm not fast talking. That's because you were trying to attach your husband's shooting to me, and it had nothing to do with me. It's to make sure that I told you he no longer worked with us. So I don't understand why you running it back to her as if his shooting had something to do with me and my damn restaurant. Don't do that. Yeah. Anything she can use to try to tear. No, you don't need to talk about you go down. So Kandi, my nephew did work with you. I have pictures with you. I have pictures with you and him with Todd. My nephew got okay, can you go through just let me and Kandi talk. You have a good one. He met him at the restaurant. I don't know if he was a patron, but yeah, that's what they just say he met. I didn't say worked out. I said he met. He was this. He got Christmas party pictures with y'all. Pictures with just you. Hold on, nobody said he never worked there. Okay, what I'm telling you is, hold on, he did not work there.
With Moyeta trying to get involved, things got heated really quickly. You could see the other girls dying, their ears itching to get in on the action. It was just a pitiful situation, I reckon, you know.
It's hard for me to focus though, like I feel sad about this.
At some point, things got really irate, tempers flared up. You can see Kandi just beside herself, and Marlo seemingly trying to demand for flowers. I don't know, it just got messy. Eventually, the other ladies, you know, came in to break this whole thing apart, because it was going downhill fast, and there was no winners in this type of situation. Was it uncalled for? Absolutely. Unnecessary. This is a conversation that should have happened 2 years ago, and bringing it now just tells you there's motive behind it. You know, Marlo bringing this particular situation now tells you there's motive behind it. And Drew decided to, you know, egg Marlo on by calling her aggressive. I don't know. Like, again, Marlo thought she was going to get Drew on her corner, but Drew was clearly not willing to take the punt with this one. She was like, no, girl, you are by yourself. Shoot yourself in the foot. Keep doing it. And I'm just going to sit this one out and throw support where I feel it's necessary or it's warranted. And good on Drew, I think. Moyeta, I felt Moyeta though. Poor Moyeta she wanted to save Kandi, but at this point, Kandi's emotions were so high, and it was just no coming down. They eventually took them out, and you know you could see the clear divide between these women: Kenya, Moyeta, Drew, and Kandi. And on the other side is Courtney, Sheree, Sanya, and Marlo. Now, Sandy, at one point, I knew was trying to play both sides, but now it's clear she is for the other team. The team with the evil horn, as I will call it. The night, Kandi did not wait to stay. Once she let out once she said all she had to say, she drove off with the other girls, you know, trying to pick the pieces of the night that was. It was just, I don't know. poor Kandi, I would say. This was the first time she wanted to get with the girls, but she came in there ready to attack. That was her plan. Like, get this girl to shut up, shut this whole thing down, because you're ruining my business. This is a business. You're lose costing me money by perpetuating this whole situation. That's exactly what Marlo is doing. And someone needs to let her know that if you keep going on, you're gonna get sued. Honestly, you're gonna get sued. I don't know why Candy's even letting this go to this extent. Like, you should shut it down and shut it down completely. The other girls went back into the venue, and they tried to see if they could. I don't know if the event happened, but from my vantage point, I don't think it did. Like I said, Courtney organized this event for this particular showdown. That was her assignment, and she delivered on that. The event was pretty much cancelled. If they did, I think they did. Yeah, they did, because we saw snippets of them wearing white suit, but that was it. I cannot wait to see how this unfolds, or how this affects the dynamics of the group, because we can now see the clear divide. On episode 7, we're gonna be, I think this whole thing is not ending here. We're going to talk about it. Hopefully we're putting it to bed in episode 7. Do I think it's gonna be put to bed in episode 7? Not really. I don't think so, but I cannot wait to uncover and unpack that episode for you. Until then, guys, stay safe and be focused. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Bye.